What's going on, guys? My name is Eliza of Keel, and welcome to Space Engineers. So, in Space Engineers, you have player-made weapons and AI-controlled weapons. And for the most part, you're really fighting the AI-controlled weapons. In terms of tactical strikes, etc., you're really fleet versus fleet, not really fighting a whole lot of missiles. You're fighting just the standard AI-controlled weapons. So I wanted to figure out a way that you could make your ships more effective in those scenarios. So, what I found is that decoys serve as really good distractions for AI controlled turrets, whether they are floating out in space headed towards the enemy ship or just inside your ship. They think they're a warhead and they prioritize them. That's what the AI does. So, as of right now in Space Engineers, if you place a decoy block for every single electronic component in your ship somewhere else in your ship, you double the effectiveness of your armor, because the AI spends the same amount of time to get at a single decoy block than it would, or as it would, a reactor that it's trying to shoot or a turret that it's trying to shoot. And so it spends its time shooting at that, and you buy yourself extra time, which means that you are going to survive longer, not because you have more armor, but because you're making the enemy turrets waste their time shooting armor they don't have to shoot at. You can literally have a giant hangar filled with nothing but cargo and decoys. And now they're literally destroying just resources, which sucks, but if it means you win, then you win. But you don't have to necessarily put your cargo in danger. But for example, they're shooting at something that is literally no threat to them whatsoever, instead of shooting the turrets that are shooting at them, which means that you get to spend your time shooting their turrets, crippling them, and getting into position to board them, cripple them, whatever you want to do, because now they can't do anything to you but except maybe ram you. And no one really wants to do that, in truth. I guess it's a good last resort tactic, theoretically, but dishonor to rammers. The most interesting thing is just how effective it is. You get double the armor for barely any resources. One decoy is two steel plates, two large tubes, and we have two computers and a construction component, and a radio communication parts, or radio communicator parts, something like that. And it just is really, really ridiculous. So what I did was I just ran a few tests to see exactly how effective it was. And as you can see in these clips, it's pretty darned effective. Rockets deal far more DPS, and the first couple of tests I did with them, the damage is going through the blocks and damaging stuff behind it. When I did 2 layers of armor, it actually destroyed it faster. And it had something to do with how damage was being calculated out. So just make sure that whatever your components or your decoys are not immediately against multiple layers of armor. Put them farther in so that that doesn't happen. I made some manipulations later to the test where I put the second layer of armor a couple of blocks in front, so that the splash damage didn't get through, and then we saw a massive increase in the time that it took it to get through and destroy those reactors. And this tactic is more than just defense against the AI turrets. It's defense against anything that works off of the AI. You have enemy player-made turret or turret-controlled torpedoes. There's a couple of scripts out there that use the AI turrets to guide your missile. And now that you have that pointed at something that is in a location that doesn't matter, like your hangar with nothing inside it, or an aesthetic little winglet on the side of your ship, what are they going to do but shoot their own missile into something that is clearly non-important? And this means that you can strategically place things in your ship where you have heavy armor in just small locations with tons of decoys behind them. And that's where it's going to take all the heat. And then you can have light armor where you have nothing behind it. And then you can have heavy armor protecting the important components. So you can really reduce how much armor you need, because you don't need to protect the entire ship because you know exactly where your ship's going to get shot. You don't need to protect such and such location because there's literally nothing there to get shot, so it can be light armor. We can reduce the weight. We don't need to put 2 layers of heavy armor outside the ship. We can just put 2 decoy blocks for every single electronic randomly across the ship in places where it doesn't matter. So I went ahead and I just wanted to do a little example, and I pitted a couple of ships, 2 identical ships in every way against each other, except in one of them I went ahead and I walked through and I just placed some decoy blocks, and this is what happened. As you can see, one of these ships has no power, has no turrets functioning on it. They are all crippled, except for the ones on the opposite side that aren't shot yet. And because they were not, this was just a broadside engagement, I didn't let the ships move. And they have done basically nothing to the enemy ship, or our ship in this case. If we go over and take a look at this one, it's ripped a hole into the side, damaged some refineries, damaged the hangar. Not a single one of those turrets on this ship has been damaged, because while they were bothering to shoot at nothing, our turrets were left alone and were able to take out every single one of the enemy turrets. Really, really effective. If your enemy can't shoot at you, all they can do is run, so all you have to do is keep up with them. This is decoy armor, and I gotta say, it's probably the best thing that I've ever come up with, other than possibly using welders to regenerate armor on occasion in very specific locations, which can make a huge difference. And if you guys want to see that, I can actually put that up and show you guys how effective you can actually make some armor for small arms fire, security doors, etc. with just some welders. Makes it really hard to do the whole grind down the antenna and hack it, etc. strategy. But anyway, this is Decoy Armor, guys, and if you like this video or you want to see more, leave a like, leave a comment, or subscribe even if you want to, and have a good one, guys.